All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our relegation stream, our round two relegation stream. My name is still Diceheart, and I'm still joined here by Younglegs as we're going to go into our second match tonight between the Crimson Knights and La Bomba Prodigios. This should be an interesting one, Legs.
Yeah, Crimson Knights obviously got the upset of the first round,
Mhm.
getting upsetted by Wax's team, going pretty much the entire game ahead, and then throwing one siege, and it was over. As I said
Uh-huh.
in just before, best of one. That's all. That's all it is. They messed up one siege. It was game over.
See, you say Wax's team, but I saw Benzilla get a quadra kill. I'm pretty sure that's Benzilla's team.
True.
Big shout out to Benzilla, by the way.
And La Bomba, from what I saw in their first round game, being the last place team in the
Mhm.
bottom bracket last uh, OCL,
Yeah.
huge. Even though they got the L, a huge step up. I think they played a lot better than I saw from them in last season.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should highlight both of these teams, and we will come back to it. But a standout player for me from La Bomba absolutely was Milo. He played insanely well last week on the Thor.
Yeah,
Again, if people haven't seen the highlight reel, go check it out. It looks fantastic. Shout outs to Moss for making that. But in that highlight reel specifically, we saw the absolutely outstanding plays coming out from Milo, just looking absolutely fantastic on that Thor. And you're right, stand out. It's unfortunate that a team is going to be knocked out of the league at all today, because at the moment, even the teams that are still fighting for their position are fighting hard and looking great the whole time.
yeah. Hopefully, whichever team does end up getting knocked out, stay together for next season.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to see. You said yourself, La Bomba, were the bottom team from the bottom bracket last season. Here they are now. We've got Aries Gamer YT, overdosed on Milo, Chakra Demon, who I do believe is being replaced tonight. Efri in support, and Iton also has been replaced now as well. So a bit of a roster change coming in to the second round here, but still, overdosed by Milo is just such a standout player and looks great. Very,
Yeah,
very, very consistently.
I think it's definitely his chance to really shine in this game and try and come up against the team of the Crimson Knights, which does have on paper a stacked side.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a quick look at the Crimson Knights here as well. Obviously, a team that we've seen players from for quite a bit. I love this roster because it's such a combination of. Honestly, this is like the nice guys from all the teams from previous seasons. You've got Jed9 is such a nice guy. You got Nuxel, Connor, such a nice guy. Abs Pro, the nicest guy. Flicks, unlucky guys. Like these are for the for the most part, these are the nice guys team. But they come out to end up being a really, really, a really strong team. We've seen Jed and Abs play on Dandy Demons that look fantastic. Stoinis previously on the Chickens looked great. Nuxel had a standout season and became a favorite of the OCL last season. Wade, a very consistent player. So this is a great squad overall, legs.
Yeah, I think it is. Obviously, some things to iron out, which in pretty much comes with any team, any new team.
Mhm.
But I feel once they hit their groove, I reckon they are a potential top 14.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, having Yada as the coach for this team as well is massive. I've sat down and
And
had a bit of a chat with him as well.
and Chat GPT as coach, I've heard as well. I think it's a dual
ChatGPT,
coaching from Yada and Chat GPT.
honestly, ChatGPT putting in a bit more work than Yada from what I've seen too. But I had a chat with both ChatGPT and Yada about it before, and just seeing that they're both quite passionate to teach a few of the teams in the OCL at the moment, and just try to improve the general quality and skill level of the scene, and really just help things out. So it's really good to see some of these coaches getting really involved and making things look good. So big shout outs to them.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
Again, I believe we do not have picks and bans here for this particular game. Some more issues with the spectator client. Uh, but we do know that the bands that came out here were. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We had from the Knights, Barkasaura, Thor, Marticarus, Susano, Odin. That's already very
Yeah,
interesting.
a fair top three, and then I guess Susano has been getting picked up a little bit more. The Odin, I guess, is purely based on whatever their team comp was at the time.
Hmm.
Uh, but I think that's fine. I think it's still pretty standard bans.
Yeah, and then on the other side, the Bomba have burned away Serket, Guan Yu, Afro, Ishtar, and Cernino. So definitely some target bans there. Serket has seen a bit of a resurgence at the moment, but that Ishtar Cern very much targeted towards Wade there.
Yeah, obviously, once it gets down to that second round banning, you do see a lot of those targeted bans coming out, especially if you favor one of the, like if you have the ADC in support and you think ADC is going to be more of a problem, target bans come through a lot more in that second round.
Yep. Well, it should be interesting to see what direction both teams go here with their picks. Obviously, we haven't quite seen that yet, but we should be getting into the game here between Crimson Knights and La Bomba. It looks like it will be for the Knights here. Horus picked up for the solo lane. Vamana over here in the jungle for Stoinis. Nukes is going to be piloting that Agni in mid. Wade on the Heimdall ADC, and Jed Knight's going to be playing Baron's Armdy in support. Now that is a team comp. Very
Yeah.
spicy, I think.
I think it's a very heavy pick comp. I think they're going for. Like
Yeah.
with the Horus lockdown, Baron Samedi lockdown on Baron Samedi ult, you got your Heim ult. I think it's all about getting picks.
Yeah, high CC, very good single target damage, you're right, but then also kind of balanced out by Agni's potential there as well to just drop bombs. Like, very disruptive sort of team comp. On the other side, though, you've got that Kakullen being piloted by Ares Gamer. In the solo lane, you've got Milo on that Najar, and having seen him on the Thor, I like putting him on a strong single target god here. Oh, a lot of damage coming out already for La Bomba's ADC here, the Ram, very low health. We've got Merlin being piloted in the mid lane, Ram ADC, and Efri's going to be piloting that Yamoja in support for La Bomba. So very interesting comps coming out from both sides here. I do like what La Bomba have brought, but I definitely think that the Knights have a much stronger sort of comp coming into this, just for exactly what they're looking to do, and we're already seeing it in this duo lane.
Yeah, I do like La Bomba's comp on paper. Like you got your Rama's the top pick, Yamoja's the top pick, Merlin's the top pick. But I feel like a Baron Samedi is a known counter to the Yamoja. It's very hard for Yamoja to be able to deal with it. Can get picked very easily. And Vamana also has quite a good time staying on top of a Merlin and a Rama. So I feel like they've just kind of been counter-picked a bit more in these comps.
Yeah, I have to agree that it's a rough position to be in there. I'm very excited to see what Stoinis as well can bring on this Vamana, and just see sort of how he's going to be able to disrupt the backline and what he's going to be doing back there. Specifically, I want to see what he builds as well, as we're going to see a bit of rotation here from Overdose by Milo, doing a little bit of damage, but nice bit of healing from Jed is going to kind of just zoom him away from that trouble.
That's just the power of getting that jungler to come on that first rotation of the shield buff. And then pretty much by the time they get back from that first shield, it's around time mid-camp spawn. Was a little bit late on that one, but still.
What do you think about what Stoinis is doing in the meantime, though? Like, we did see that Milo went over towards that shield camp, and in the meanwhile, Stoinis has gone and stolen back cam and a few wandering harpies, and actually managed to distract like 3 members of La Bomba on his way out too.
I like it. Obviously, just trying to find something to punish the Najar for going over to the shield buff in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should have really gone to that. You only know it's a back camp, and trying to chase down a Vamana with obviously not really much lockdown with the 3 god you really had there. I think it's just a little bit of a waste of time, but.
Yeah, I have to agree. I do like that Milo went over towards the shield buff though. He's definitely the one out of the two of those junglers right now. He's definitely the one with the more potential to take a fight over there. But I think Stoinis playing really smart there, going towards those back camps, and not like he would have told his team straight away, yeah, I'm not going to shield buff. There's no point.
Yeah, it's definitely a farm angle from Stoinis at the moment till he gets like a 2-3 items up where he can really start doing damage with these ults in the backline.
I like that as well. You know, we talked last game about certain gods and certain players needing to make sure that they were kind of being patient and holding abilities, holding themselves back a little bit, I suppose, until the right point in the game. And seeing Stoinis focusing on farming right now, I think is definitely the correct play for him there. So good to see that he's got that. that mind about him.
Yeah.
We want to see level 5s here for the Crimson Knights, trying to contest this shield buff once more, but Milo's
Honestly,
here again.
Yemoja, oh, they do have the Najar coming. I was going to say Yemoja stepping up to this lane against level 5 is rough. But they do have the people coming.
He's already forced out. He's going to be able to get that teleport off. That goes so far. Now Jet
Baronol.
going to throw out the Baronol. Won't be able to connect the Emoji underneath the tower directly, but still falling very low health.
Flicks will not ult. Strange to not see the... Yeah.
Good bait
See the last in now.
Last is in now, and there's the ultimate coming out from Flicks.
Najar.
We'll force the beads out of the Najar. There's Ring Toss is thrown
And
down.
nothing really happens from it.
Yeah, I am surprised that Lath chose to dive backline there. We were just talking about how he needs to wait until he's got items on board, and then he tried to 2v1 there instead of just waiting for the Najar to land and fighting that instead.
Yeah, I feel a bit of misplay from Knight's side. I feel like they could easily have killed Yemoja if Wade instant just ripped that ult and took her in the tower.
Yeah.
I feel like that was just a free kill. And then, yeah, as you said, Stoinis going over the back line instead of just killing the Najar. That was really far out of position.
Yeah, definitely, again, just a bit disjointed here, and I think that's the word of the day from some of these teams tonight. But, you know, still good to be able to see that the Knights survived that. You know, it's not like they were the aggressors in that situation. It was definitely Milo who was there first, trying to provide some CC and some damage. But still, would have liked to have seen them play a little bit better in that early portion here as we go back to farming for both teams.
Yeah. Hydra's Lament coming out first from Najar. I'm not overly a fan of the first item Hydra's. I feel like Trans is always just better. I feel because Hydra's power obviously scales, the basic attack afterwards scales off your power. And I feel like if you really add it up with the power you'd be getting from Trans, your basics would almost be doing more in general anyway, even without the Hydra's prop.
Yeah, especially on a god who benefits so significantly much from being able to throw those autos out in between abilities. You would think that, well, just anything really, being able to pick up that Trans is going to have much more of an impact than the early Hydras. We'll see if Milo is able to put it to good use, though. He might just be looking for consistent auto attacks, but right, that's a bit strange as the Sash is going to come out, forces the beads out of neutral as well.
Too.
And steals that red buff. That was a risky play by Nuxel there, though. He should probably have known a little bit better than trying to do that so low health next to his tower instead of just dragging it in.
Yeah, and I would like to see now that they've gotten that first red buff, they have this early, like, I would say they had the early fight win, maybe not now going into the Vamana ult era, but I would like to see at least attempts to keep reinvading this red and really trying to get Nuxel down and get your Merlin like as much of a lead as you can possibly get it.
Yeah, I definitely think that was the right way to do it there, as we're going to see a Blink coming out from the Vamana here now, putting on his pressure towards the Merlin. We've already seen a Flick come out, great stun over the wall there from Nuxel as well, as the bombs go down and First Blood goes to Crimson Knights. Nuxel really showing up on this Agni right now.
And just it, I feel, obviously when you see a Vamana Blink dash, you first instinct is to flicker.
Yeah.
I feel like holding it though was the right play, because then as soon as he flickered, he could. Lass just had to catch up with like 3 steps and just press 4 and just run him down.
Big Rivers of Butte coming out there from the Mojo.
Yeah,
He's going to be able to trap Vamana in, and there's the ultimate coming out from the Najar as well. Swin is in a lot of trouble, doesn't have an ult to get himself out of this one. No, sorry, that was Nuxel there, still low. Ring Toss is going to come out. Falls off the map there, and Stoinis is going to go down as well. 2 kills there for La Bomba. Put some balance back in the game.
Put it down to F3 Rivers Rebuke. It was a very nice Rivers Rebuke there at the red. Really, actually finding the punish for the Crimson Knights trying to go for that red buff invade.
Yeah, we've seen Yemoja kind of suffer a little bit in this most recent few patches. Like, she has a bit of a hard time coming into the meta, but playing into gods like Agni, Vamana, you've got Heimdall there, even a Baron Samni there, like gods that just really can't get out of our ultimate. A good Yemoja player being able to chuck those walls down is going to make all the difference, and we just saw that happen, and the punish potential that it can bring. So really well played there by Every.
Yeah, and very greedy from the Knight side. You obviously just, especially from Stoinis' side, just blink and ulted on the Merlin to get the kill just before, and then looking for the red afterwards. I think just a little bit too greedy, looking for too much of a win when they had already gotten a win in general anyway.
Yeah,
As they
potentially
go into
greedy plays
purple.
here. I've gone into the purple buff and are going to hard commit here to this Ram, looking for a little bit more damage onto Toxic Venom. But that's gone up into the yellow rotation coming out from Efri here is good though as Wade has picked up one kill. The Baron ult coming out as well, looking for the Emojo. He's going to be able to get the stun. Wade double kill. We did just hear the Najar ult come out as well. He's going to be able to find his way back underneath the tower, but the Knights might go to Gold Fury here, and this should be free given the double kill they just got.
Yeah, a great fight, honestly, around the purple buff. I think it was a little bit of a late rotation from the Bomba. Obviously, 4 people had got to that purple buff before a extra person had come from the Bomba.
Yeah.
And then rotating just in from behind, it was like one person going in once your Rama's already low. They're just going from a 4v1 to a different 4v1. And then, so it's just basically giving up the free gold after that anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a matter of if you can guarantee get your Ram out, because I mean Ram ult's great. It gets him up into the air for a fair while, and can protect him for enough time for his team to get there and help. But unless you're guaranteed going to get him out, don't put yourself out of position to try to save him, because as we just saw, you can be punished for that, and that's what just happened there to La Bomba, losing 2 people instead of just the Ram and then the Gold Fury off the back of it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would like to see an instant grouping around Pyromancer from Crimson Knights, trying to cancel out that comeback from La Bomba, trying to get the trade. As they go for the red buff invade, or looking to go for the red buff invade again.
Stoinis is playing this super greedy, and I don't mind that right now as a mana. He is building it to crit though, which is interesting. So it's going to be a rotation over towards the Bomber's solo lane here, looking to try to pick up the Ares Gamer. It's going to be a dive underneath the tower. The Mana and the Baron ult are going to both come out a lot of damage, and the pick's going to come through for Abspro there. Wow.
Yeah, just a great rotation following the jungler really with Stoinis. Jed, sorry.
Yeah, I think this comes down to maybe a little bit of communication for the little Bomber boys as well, because you should definitely know where Crimson Knights are. You should know that they're rotating towards the Pyromancer there, because you need to be ready for them to do that in general. And either you need to counterplay that, or you need to know that they can then come into the solo lane, or just tell your solo lane, hey, back off a little bit, they're on that side of the map.
Yeah, they did just show up on their red buff. I don't actually know if they ever did get spotted when they went in to look for that red buff, but obviously just communication saying they are in that side. If it's obviously then somewhat up to Ares Gamer to actually listen to if it did get called out and being able to pull away from it. But
wow, another purple buff invade coming out.
Another purple buff invade. I like it.
Stoinis has just been all over this map, and he's not necessarily getting himself ahead. In fact, he's a level down right now on Milo, but he is getting the rest of his team ahead right now as Wade is 2 levels up on Toxic Venom, and we're seeing even a big lead for Abspro here as well over Ares Gamer. Bit of a grouping here though from La Bomba over towards Pyromancer, looking to be able to pick up a kill here next to this Pyromancer, and down does fall Abspro. This Pyromancer is going to be started up. Really good play there from La Bomba.
I don't know what, I guess Abs was just going up trying to get vision around Pyro and just walked into all 4 people. And obviously with no people around, didn't really have the escape that a Horus is known for.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's definitely hard because Knights put a lot of their pressure over. Wow, where did they go though? Where are La Bomba right now? They got the pick, and now they've just walked away from the Pyromancer. They're giving this up for free to the Knights. Maybe a few people are going to walk into this one with the Pyromancer already super low on health, and there's the Baron ult looking for the kill, but Efri is going to be able to get that as a root down. Is very strong here, but the chase is on from Stoinis. He's managed to find one. Pyromancer still on the map as Nuxel. Taken very low there, so too was Jed. No one going to pick up the Pyromancer here, but still a good kill there. The mid lane for La Bomba fell. Snipes are good though! Nuxel goes down!
Inshallah, hits the snipes.
Wow, hits the snipes. Abspro though is able to find him on that landing. A little bit surprising. That he was up in the air for that long after getting that kill. Now the mid tower being aggressed on here. Really good snipes there to be able to pick up Nuxel. Just unfortunate that he had to stay so long, and now maybe an aggression sees the tower. What do you think about this, young man?
I don't mind it. I don't know what their vision's currently like on everyone. Obviously it's a little bit risky. They have done a lot on this without backing. But if they had the vision of where people are, there was no one around it. So I like the call.
Well, that T2 tower does go down, and that's going to give a whole heap of pressure to Crimson Knights.
Going to Gold Fury as well. they would have money in their pocket right now, and that's the drawback of staying around and stuff. Is going to go big.
Now Abs Pro in trouble. He's going to be able to dash out away from that Naja. Will pop the sash though, in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be able to dash towards his team though. The Ram roll coming out, and now La Bomba are going to start up this Gold Fury.
Pull it.
No, pull it, please. Okay, Gold Fury, start it up.
Work by the solo laner, coming in to pull it. That was it. Crimson Knights just stayed for criminally way too long. Although they are coming in to still look for this
Baron ult has been used on Efri there. Rebuke is available, or is not available.
Bomba get the only.
They do get the Gold Fury there, and it looks like they're going to be able to survive this. Maybe it's Abs Pro. He's going to be able to land here. 3-man knock up there, and the stun's going to come out. Forces the beads out as the chase down is on. Not a lot of follow up here, but the Naja trapped in between 3 members. Great push there. Oh, but that Cullen is definitely dying on the landing from the Heimdall. Lost with their weight. Goes down the trade there as the snipes are coming out from the Ram off in the distance here, and Stoinis made a rotation, good healing coming out there as well as Stoinis in that ultimate has found himself 1 kill, now chasing down a few more members of La Bomba. A very split fight here. Is Stoinis going to be able to find one more? Jed just barely surviving here, a knock-up coming out from Abs Pro. The auto is enough to be able to find that kill as well. Rebuke in the meantime used to keep the rest of La Bomba alive. A split fight. Gold Fury went the way of La Bomba, but Knights ended up, I think, with the better end of that fight overall.
Yeah, a very split up fight. The Knights shouldn't have gone as well as it did for the Knights. They hadn't backed for, I think, an eternity. If I could be wrong there, but I think it was an eternity.
I think it was one whole eternity, yeah.
And they lose gold and still manage to come out on top on this fight.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels strange that it went the way that it did there. I think maybe if Efri was positioned a little bit differently or had his ultimate available, or maybe, you know, we saw La Bomba just kind of posturing around that Gold Fury for a while before they started it. Potentially if they'd started that one up a bit sooner, it just would have been completely ripped before Knights had a chance to react to that as well. I was going to see hard commit here from Abs.
All on the gas.
They are putting on the gas right now. I do like this from the Knights right now, as Jed is going to be able to pick himself up another kill. Just being able to put this pressure on near the objectives and look for people who are potentially out of position, I think just snowballing your lead like this is exactly what we'll be doing. It's very low risk to be grouped up this much as well, and another pick will go in favour of the Knights. Very likely to walk themselves over to Fire Giant right now.
Yeah, that play was this like straight from the foot of what this comp is looking to do. They ran straight to fire, used the Baron Samedi as it has been doing all game, really just finding pick that ult. It's just very straightforward.
Yeah, and I think as well, this is really crucial, but you know, as a support, it's very hard to pick up things. But against certain gods, you just need them, and I think Baron is really showing himself to be one of those gods. I think that the fact that Efri has been pulled in so many times and just killed for free by this Baron ult is really detrimental. He's now 4 levels down and just isn't able to have the impact that he wants on this game at the moment. So having bees would have made a huge difference, I think, for Efri in this early game.
Yeah, a lot of the times you do just want to kind of hold out on it, but it's a known Baba Yaga counter. A Baron Samedi can just completely ruin Yamoja's day for an entire game.
Yeah.
And unless you have some way or have some kind of hard like counter dive into you getting pulled, I think it's just always rough. As just a blink and dash away to stop the siege. They did get beach for his trouble. He has just used both relics.
Yeah, he has used both relics. It's still going in
rough,
here.
And he's just running in between everybody.
Straight into that big baby form.
Stoinis has now used everything. If he gets in that TP, it is criminal.
Did not get into the TP, but the rest of the team did, as we're going to see the Ruby coming down on the left, coming out on the backline of Bomba, looking for a little bit more as Jed able to find the kill. Now the chase is on from the rest of the Crimson Knights. Good defense potential here for La Bomba, but they don't have that Ruby. Really critical ability
and no
to be able
Merlin.
to keep them alive
No
here.
Merlin either. I would be trying to send this. No one has gone back and got any of the waves, so I think Knights staying here for as long as they have been already, I think is a bit rough.
It's already, yeah, criminal.
A great like stock standard thing is this: you always have to keep your waves pushed up. Like it doesn't take long. You don't really have to rush anything. You can just have one person run over for like 10 seconds, push up a wave,
I think
You don't.
there's
You only really need to kill one wave, and then your wave will,
eventually
if
get to you.
eventually win the trade, and it'll catch up anyway. You don't really need to like spend your whole time pushing up the entire wave.
Yeah, I agree. And also, in that scenario, we saw the Horror Soul come out to get that chase off, but not everybody went into that Horror Soul. So I think that there was still room for people who were sitting a little bit further behind to have cleared out that wave, and like given their team time to then push into that Phoenix. Because if there was a wave there, that was a free mid Phoenix for sure.
Yeah, obviously did still find stuff after the stuff, even if it wasn't a Phoenix. They still got a tier 2 and a Gold Fury.
hmm
But
In the meantime, though, Milo potentially doing the right thing here, split pushing down right side, does have to back off though as the TP is going to come out from Abspro there. Still a heads up play to try to look for something on the map though.
yeah, just trying to split the map. It's the same way that By Gravity Finance found the way for the win. They around the 5-9 fight, their team just said we're just gonna split the map, get rid of all of the. They got rid of 2 tier 2s and really opened up a win con, which I wouldn't mind seeing a same kind of strat, just having someone trying to find a win con, while like give up one fire, just slam right side.
Yeah, hope that someone gets a quadra kill as well, absolutely.
Yeah.
As No, I have to agree though that a good split push here is going to be able to could potentially make all of the difference, and you know you do just need to be able to find the win con. It's definitely a difficult position to be in right now, as we're seeing Efri still quite a fair bit behind, but regardless, Umoja is still Umoja and can get this Rivers Rebuke up, which is going to provide a lot of potential value here as we see a bit of a commitment coming out. Looking for Efri there from the Crimson Knights. Not hard committing to this Pyromancer. You're right when you said it. You said it a few times now. This is a bait comp from the Knights. They want people to walk in so that they can pick them off.
Yep. And great on La Bomba at the moment. Hopefully no one steps up, but just it sucks to give up Pyromancers in particular. But at some point you just have to know. You just need a farm.
Oh, is this an overcommit here from Stoinis? Being poked out a little bit for his trouble. Doesn't have a lot of his team around. Has to use Big Baby there. But that might be what the Knights needed to just be able to rip this Fire Giant. It was well timed. And the Bomber Boys back completely off this fire. They might not be here in time to stop this from happening.
Yeah, I think this is another just give up. They do have a really good siege defense, and anybody walking in alone, I think, is just calling for death as the Horror Soul gets in. I'd like to see how many people get in.
Whoa, all of them get in. We're going to see the very hard commit here. Jet9 uses his ult underneath that T2 tower, looking to get a bit of follow-up there as Stoinis is going to be able to pick up the kill onto Efri. Does get that Rebuke down just in time, though. Nuxel picks up another one. That's insane. As the chase down is still on, Abspro looking for more, and in the back line is Stoinis looking to take the 1v1 here with the solo laner. A little bit more damage will do it. Nuxel has himself the double kill bombs coming down as this right side T2 tower will fall here for the Knights.
I don't know if they really should keep going. I feel like this is into angle, even though it is 2v5, they are incredibly low. They do have the Horror Seals,
And
if they play it patient enough, I feel like they could still do it. Yep, yes they are.
They are playing patient.
A lot more patience than they showed last week on the Siege.
Yeah, they've waited for this wave speed here. They sent Stoinis into mid, and he also waited and went all the way back to get himself a wave 2. We're seeing the rotations coming out from La Bomba towards Stoinis here, trying to get a punish off here as the Sash is going to come out, forces a Big Baby form, but as made an excellent rotation there and hits that stun. He has been deleted. Right side Phoenix has already fallen as well as that, as Wade is going to be able to pick up one, and now there is the ultimate coming out from Jet9. Wade has a double kill, looking for a little bit more. Jet still alive as Stoinis picks up another one, and the Knights are looking to push into the Titan and end this game. Efri, the only member of La Bomba, still standing, and not for long. It goes down to Nuxel. This should be game, yeah.
Game. Crimson Knights have done it. They won off the Siege. We love to see it.
Really well played.
Showing how they fixed their mistakes from last week.
Well done there by the Crimson Knights to be able to take that game from La Bomba, find their way into the regular season as well. And you're right, just fixing up a lot of the mistakes from last week, not making... I think that last play was it, right? Not rushing into that Phoenix siege really shows the difference from last week and this week.
Yeah. Love to see it, and they're in. So
They're in.
Final match comes down to La Bomba and Pretty Boys in the best of 3.
It does. I wish we could watch it, but unfortunately it looks like all of our All of our replays are not functioning for it. We had several people trying to spectate that one tonight, and the spectator client is not functioning for us, so we will not have a replay, unfortunately, of that particular set.
Yeah, which is very rough. I would have loved to have watched that game.
I heard that it's going into because it was a best of three. I heard it's going into game three at the moment as well. So at the current time, we actually don't know which team has gone through just yet between Pretty Boys and La Bomba.
But
So
I guess keep an eye out on the announcements.
keep an eye out on the announcements. That's true. While we're here as well, I will suggest that people go and check out the exclamation mark charity command that you can do into chat right now. Go check out what we're doing to help fight MND. If you can support us, please do. We're looking to see what we can do to help out a really good cause. That's exclamation mark charity, which I will put in chat there. Give us a hand with supporting that one when you or if you can. Otherwise, I think that's just about going to do it for us tonight. Any shout outs from you there, young Lex?
Nah, good.
No?
Chat
Alright.
GBT as a
ChatGPT, big
coach.
shout out to
Yeah.
ChatGPT for winning that game there for the Crimson Knights. Well, if you're in the chat right now, do go and check out that link. Otherwise, um, thank you very much for joining us. Keep an eye out on announcements, as we will see now that Crimson Knights and Corrupted Crusaders will be joining the rest of the teams for Season 4 of the OCL. Keep an eye out for the last team that goes through as well between Pretty Boys and La Bomba Prodigios. I think the only other thing that's important happening this week as well is the Fantasy League, which
Yes.
the draft should be happening for this week.
Very keen.
I will answer one question. Normally, I don't answer chat when we're doing casts, but MND is a motor neuron disease. So we're looking to do what we can to try to help people suffering from that particular condition. Yes, the Fantasy League draft should be very exciting this week. I know that Sleepy is putting in a lot of work to try to make that run. Someone did a lot of spreadsheeting for that as well. They must have been a very handsome individual to have done that. So that should be exciting, and I think we'll keep like regular updates going for that as well. That was me. I did the spreadsheeting. All right, let's raid somebody and close things off. Any suggestions for who we should raid?
Um, Devane is streaming.
Devane is streaming.
What else we got? Who's on Smite?
Who is on Smite? There's a lot of names here.
Yeah. I would say Devane or Auto Speed.
Let's go
Probably.
Devane tonight, I think. Alright. Jump in the raid, gamers. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a swell night. One. Gone. Um, we should be good now, I would imagine.
Excellent.
Yeah, you can stop streaming.